one person possibly do about an entire planet's atmosphere? Like that is the definition of powerless. And we're not powerless, of course. We've been conditioned to think that way, and that's partially by design. But when you can give people a way to funnel some of their professional energy into addressing that, because lots of people do it personally, from what they buy, what they eat, how long they shower, all that, how they move around the world, all that stuff, to how they conduct themselves politically, how they vote, all of those things. The professional sphere remains, I think, one of the most important places for people to be funneling some of that energy into addressing climate change, because there's this weird inverse relationship between influence and impact when you think about those three spheres of personal sustainability action, professional, and political, right? Like in the personal
Hmm.
sphere, you have high agency. I can take way shorter showers and switch to Beyond Burgers. But I think most of us know that the relative impact of individual consumer choices is actually pretty small. Not to
Right.
say it doesn't matter, but it's not what's going to move the needle. And then likewise, at the other end of the spectrum, politically speaking, right? Like governments create the rules that society operates in. Those are the conditions that change systems, which is ultimately what addressing climate change is all about. You have very little influence in a system like that. But when you can get influence, you have a massive impact. The professional sphere is that sweet spot right in between where your influence and your impact are like at relative parity. And so, yeah, you do have less influence depending on the size of your corporation and the culture compared to your personal life. But when you can succeed in making a change happen, it scales so far beyond anything you could ever do as an individual voter, consumer, whatever. So there's a unique opportunity there. And getting back to what I was saying earlier, I've been really encouraged that there's a line of people around the block the last 5 years or so who are like, I'm ready to make a change in my career. I want to focus all of my professional energy on environmental problems. Now, there's not enough jobs to satiate the demand, and so that creates a weird situation. But the overall fact that so many people are so concerned about this and willing to change mid-career or
Hmm.
whatever is a good thing. We just have to really help people understand that there's way more. There's a difference between working in climate and working on climate. And it's not a light switch that you just flip, where like you go from not having a climate job to suddenly having a climate job. Like that path works for some people, and I don't want to discourage anyone from that. But there are many paths to the mountaintop. And I think it's a lot more helpful for people to think about working on sustainability as a dial that you turn over
Right.
time in both directions. Life changes, priorities
Right.
change, but you don't have to. I wish people would focus less on the title and more on the opportunity of what they can be doing from where they already have power and influence in their careers.